What about those mediums who say he didn't die on the cross? Hey guys, it's John here on the JESHUA channel, talking to you about this comment that came in and a question. By the way, I need more questions, so make sure you're dropping your questions on the videos so I can keep making more videos for you. I am running low and I'm starting to pull my own out, so if you have any more, please feel free. So let me just read this with you. John, do you have a reply to some mediums and psychics who say he did not die on the cross? I know in a previous video you said old John was there, but how to explain the idea of what some are saying, or in the long run, do you feel it doesn't really matter? How do I explain it? First of all, every psychic or medium is coming from their own filter. And 9 times out of 10, their filter has been from their religion or from the latest New Age school of thought. It's interesting, when Dan Brown wrote the Da Vinci Code, suddenly psychics and mediums started talking about the children and the bloodline of Jesus, right? It wasn't really even talked about until that book came out. And then it became, oh yeah, they had children, they did this, they were that, they had all that stories. But before that, it wasn't something the psychics and medium were picking up on. It wasn't something that was happening. But it made it into the collective consciousness that this was happening, and so it became the next thing. I was one time in Texas with a woman who was a guy that I know thinks of her as a very gifted medium and psychic, and it was very interesting how when we were talking, things that I would say to her would become something she would psychically read later in the day. And so I noticed something, I said something about what I truly believed to her, and then later in the day it became a reading that she says, I'm getting that this, and this. She started saying things that I was saying, because now it was in her collective consciousness. I think psychics and mediums have all kinds of stories. All I can do is talk about my stories, my memories. And I stood at the foot of a cross and wailed. And if you just go on my channel, there's a video called 2 Moments from My Regression. You can hear the moment of me wailing. But I also talk about the moment weeks or months later where he showed up in Galilee. And it was the first time I'd seen him afterwards. And the other stories you hear, I don't necessarily believe happened, because that moment when I saw him on the beach, I fell on my face in front of him, because I was like, oh my gosh, I thought he was dead. And so when you look at the stories that people tell, a lot of times they're the stories that people tell, and they're affected by people. If there weren't so many different stories, then, because there are so many different stories, none of them have credibility, right? Even mine. Mine is just another story. But for me, personally, I saw him on the cross. I have a memory of carrying his physical body. And then the next time I saw him was alive in Galilee. So, did he die? Who knows, right? Does it matter? I thought he was dead, but does it really matter? No, what really matters is what he taught. And that's exactly what he taught. That he is not the important thing. And it doesn't matter if he lived or he died or anything. It just matters what he taught. And what he taught is what I teach on the JESHUA channel. We are one with God, and fear is keeping us feeling separate, and we can choose to be love and loving and create a loving world around us, because that's our belief. And that's the simplest way I can say what he taught. You have the ability to change the world. And You don't need to succumb to anybody else's religion or power or anything of those natures. You have the ability to change your world and create love into the world and bringing, quote unquote, heaven to earth. So what do I think about other psychics and mediums? I think that that's their truth and that they're going to stick to it. And that's fine. I personally don't believe what they say because it doesn't match what I believe. But as I say many times, spirituality is a personal journey, and that's theirs, and this is mine. So that's my answer to this question that you've asked. That's what I have to say about it. I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. The John of New channel is solely funded by your generous donations and purchases of private readings and merchandise. To help out, go to johnofnew.com or use the donation link in the description below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.